All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So it is time to talk about it. It has been officially a week with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I'm out of my element a little bit by using an iPhone as a daily driver for that long. But by today's standards, it's actually pretty easy to use an iPhone. But the 14 Pro Max replaced my 13 Pro Max as my daily iPhone. So let's talk about this here. This will be pretty simple, but we're still going to talk about it anyway. So I do want to start with using this device, the hardware. So the hardware on this device is absolutely great. I mean, it's the same hardware from the previous generation, and I like it. I think that Apple has always had that feeling of, we're going to give you a hefty, weighty device, which makes it feel a little bit more premium. And then we're also going to give you the stainless steel sides, the matte back on the Pro versions. And I think that's a huge plus. So the footprint of this device, it is not, after using all these other big devices, I still lean heavily towards the footprint of the iPhone of all the big devices that are slabs like this, because of the rounded corners. The rounded corners on this thing are absolutely great. And it just makes it feel like it's not as big as what it really is in your hand. Now, I don't like to use cases on my devices when I'm around the house. And so that's why I like to feel the device itself. But when I do use a case with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, it still doesn't feel as big as what some other devices feel like, because of the boxy design of some. And my S22 Ultra is probably my main competition as far as a big slab for this one, for daily use. So that is important to note. I like the hardware on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I think it feels absolutely premium. I've been using different cases on it. I've been using predominantly the leather encased because of the MagSafe wallet, and then the case is actually MagSafe too. So I've been predominantly using that leather setup, and I actually been enjoying it. I've never used MagSafe wallets, and this is my first time actually doing it. And the MagSafe wallet leather setup, not just the leather, they have a MagSafe period wallet for in case, and it's been different. I've been still kind of afraid it's going to fall off and I'm going to lose my ID and my credit card, but it hasn't. It's been pretty good. So that's something to note. If I know a lot of you guys have already been using MagSafe stuff, and you've been using the official probably Apple stuff. I don't plan on ever buying the Apple MagSafe wallet and stuff like that, because they're very pricey. But there's alternatives, and Encase has you covered. So aside from the hardware, the display on this thing is absolutely great. I think if you're in the market for a big, large display on a phone, this could be something that you could consider. Now, it does have that new cutout at the top for the dynamic island, and after a while you get used to it because it's extremely functional. Unlike the previous generation, this is actually functional. It's more than just putting music up there, and more than just putting showing your earbuds when they link. It's more than that. I mean, nearly everything goes up into this dynamic island, and it's really functional. I like it. But the display itself is absolutely great for watching content. Now, the cutout at the top, it's just like the previous generation. The cutout, you'll eventually not see it, and that's about where I am with the iPhone 14 Pro Max as a daily driver. You just don't see the cutout after a while. You see it, but it's not so much in your face that you're going to keep harping on it and saying, "Oh my God, I wish this cutout wasn't here." Totally not like that. So yeah, I think that's important to know. At least for me, in my experience, I don't even notice it after a while, or I'm just in my subconscious ignoring it. Most of memory has kicked in and let me know it's there, and then just keep ignoring it and go past it. So to note though, when you take screenshots, it doesn't show up. So you just have pretty much a square screenshot, edge to edge square, and you get whatever's on the screen that you took a screenshot of. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the experience so far. As far as software goes, I think this is just the way it is with an iPhone, depending on which one you have. If you have anything from the 10 forward up to this, you're getting stellar performance overall. And I'm not saying the ones backwards are having poor performance, but you're really getting some good performance if you're iPhone 10 Plus. You're up to the 14 Pro Max. You're getting great performance, and I don't think you'll be upset with iOS 16 running on it. And I want to say about iOS 16. There's a big difference. I notice a difference when it comes to software on the 14 Pro Max versus my 13 Pro Max. iOS 16 runs really smooth on both, but the battery is where I'm going next. This doesn't last as long on battery as my 13 Pro Max with iOS 16, and people are blaming it on some people are solely blaming it on the always on display. I just think it's more than that. I just think this phone now, the dynamic island, some people seem to think that probably won't pull any resources, but I think that it will. I think that the dynamic island definitely is pulling some resources as a part of the operating system. So I'm not going to solely blame all the battery, the battery that I'm not getting on the always on display. I just can't. I don't think that's the case. I just know that I don't get the same amount of battery life out of this device than I do my 13 Pro Max. Is the dynamic island, or is the always on display a part of that? Of course, because Apple's getting used to, that's something new to the iPhone. And so that is a part of it probably, but I don't think it's solely just that. I think the dynamic island plays its part because I find myself doing way more things now, and that's just what it is. So I like the device, so I find myself doing way more. And also, I've been doing a lot of video footage with this. I mean, on my car channel, if you haven't been following me there, I've been doing the videos with this device. And the Z Fold 4 and the S22 Ultra, but this one in particular, I don't know. The Z Fold 4 has been getting a lot of coverage. So I've been editing on there too. I love the new updates to Power Director Pro and things like that. So I've definitely been doing a lot with the Z Fold 4, but this one has been the primary shooter for all of the videos going forward since I got it. I believe predominantly all the videos on any of the latest videos I'll say on my car channel, they were done with this device, and you can tell because it's an HDR, and you can just tell. So I've been really hitting my camera hard with this device because I really like these cameras on here. The video cameras on here, top notch, man, top notch. And I can't wait to compare these to the Pixel 7 Pro. I really want Google to bring it with the video cameras, because while photos are something that they've already mastered, we know that Google has the lead, or they're out front when it comes to still shots and portrait shots. Oh, they are way out front, if you ask me. I guess I shouldn't say way out front, but they are the leader for me for portrait shots. But this phone right here, when it comes to taking photos, it is greatly improved, in my opinion, for the image processing. I don't know if it has the same cameras or not in the 13 Pro Max, but definitely the photos look really good. In fact, my new icon on my channel, on all my social, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, I tend to change them and make them all the same. It was taken with this device right here. The previous one was taken with the Pixel 6 Pro. And so once the Pixel 7 Pro comes in, I'll take another photo, and I'll more than likely update it with the Pixel 7 Pro. But for now, I switched my icon and took it with this device right here, just standing in the kitchen area, the dining area, and it came out great. And so I liked it. So I put it up on the channel for the new icon. But what does that say about Apple when it comes to their photos? Well, it says that they're making some improvements, because I used to see that yellow tone or a brown hue when taking photos, but Apple has in fact done some improvements. While Google definitely still leads the way for true tones and the accurate colors, they're making some serious strides with these cameras, and I'm just going to give it to them. They're doing pretty good. So would you have exceptional hardware, exceptional software, a pretty good battery now, really decent battery? Surprisingly, I'm saying that about an iPhone 14 Pro Max, but it has really decent battery. Basically, it can last about a day and a half is what I'm getting. And then you have these fantastic cameras. What more are we looking for in an iPhone? I don't know. This has been a good experience for me. The eSIM conversation is one that people are still acting like it's just such a burden for them. And I say that with respect. Sometimes I say things and people think I'm upset about it, another person's experience, or I don't agree with it, or I'm brushing them off. It can come across like that sometimes. But the reality is, folks, I'm human. And I can agree to disagree with a person just like you can. But in the situation when it comes to the eSIM, I do understand. I have some sympathy for these people, or empathy for the people who are having trouble with it, and I get it. It's not actually them. I think it's probably just their carrier, because pretty much everybody on T-Mobile, they're not reporting, at least, I'm not gonna say everybody. Most of the people that I've seen on T-Mobile, theirs eventually switches over and it's easy. They don't have a problem. As a matter of fact, Mobile Geezer, George just posted his video recently in the last week or so, and his swapped over with ease. It was so fast, like he said, just like mine. His was fast, just like mine. It just flopped right over and it was done before you could even get anything. So I'm going to say that eSIM is a move that's not new to me. It's not new to the tech world, but it's definitely new to society. They're now getting a glimpse of what has been around for a long time. And I just think that's my conversation about that is probably not going to change. If you're having problems with your eSIM, hit your carrier up, because more than likely that's what it is. And now I don't know if it's because some of us are buying unlocked versions only, or people who are buying the T-Mobile version T-Mobile has that on lock for them. I don't know. But I can say my overall experience with the iPhone 14 Pro Max has been pretty positive, except for the battery life. I'm not going to lie. The battery life has been it's been a lot different than the 13 Pro Max. The 13 Pro Max, I knew I was guaranteed 2 days with a charge. Simply put, I was easily making it through 2 days. With this one, I'm pushing 2 days. I'm barely getting to 2 days. And that's still good. But for the pricing, of these, I want 3 to 4, 5 days, maybe. Why not? I've got other smartphones that last. I've got a smartphone with a 12,000 milliamp hour battery inside, and it is not this thick. It's the size of these phones, basically. But I know there's more going on in this iPhone internally than it is those devices. So I'll be fair and say that. But I still want a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in the next iPhone or above. 5,000 or up. We're going to need it, because if this is the direction that they're going with always on displays, and then a lot of people are just saying turn it off, this is the reason is this, I don't think people really officially know that it's just to blame, like I said, on the always on display. But I'm going to tell you that my experience with the iPhone 14 Pro Max so far has been good. This will stay. I don't plan on getting initially, if you remember, I bought the iPhone 14 Pro terabyte, and then I ended up switching to the 14 Pro Max version of it. So I just couldn't that battery life on the 14 Pro was just not good, and I couldn't even make it through a day with that. So that I couldn't do that. There's no way. So I've officially been using everything MagSafe. I really can appreciate MagSafe now, and I just think that the 13 Pro Max is the one that really took me over the hump when it comes to liking an iPhone. I've always kind of liked an iPhone, but now I actually like an iPhone. And this is coming from an Android user whose desk is full of Android phones, whose pocket always has an Android phone in it, who prefers stock Android, who loves Pixels, who uses Samsungs, who prefers a Fold, waiting for Google to bring a Fold. There's a whole bunch on the table here, but I've learned to just balance it out and try to get the best of all the tech that's out there. That's just what it is. So the 14 Pro Max is a win, folks. I genuinely like this device, and as long as nothing fails and the battery life gets better, we might have a winner here, because I gave the iPhone 13 Pro Max the 6-month win, and now I'm working on my next 6 months, basically end of year winner, and we're almost there, folks. It is October 1st as recording this video, and I'm pretty excited to say that for the first time in history, possibly an iPhone could take a spot, the number one spot. I know that's a shock coming from an Android person, but I'm genuinely at a place where I am so balanced with tech. I'm learning to be really fair and neutral, and I'm just reviewing them, but at the same time getting that user experience, and then coming to the realization that, there's a lot of good tech out there, and we should try to get a taste of all of it. So if you're pro Android or pro Apple, go switch to the other side of the coin and see if use it for a week or two and see how you like it. Try to really put down, and I'm talking to single operating system users. I mean, obviously, I use a Fold 4 and a Pixel and an iPhone. So again, I'm still predominantly Android, but I'm really learning to like what Apple is offering, and that's just the truth. So it's your man Jay. I hope you guys enjoyed. A follow-up: 1 week has passed of continuous use with my iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I'm really enjoying myself. It's your man Jay. Apple, I'm gonna need you to bring some Type-C. I'm gonna need you to change this design and keep it coming. I know you just changed the front, but I'm gonna need a little bit more. I'm gonna need some more than this. I'm gonna need that bigger battery. Type-C is gonna have to be a must. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.